Are you trying to teach your dog loose lead walking and you don't really know where to start? Well, I would start in the house by teaching your dog to follow you and to engage with you in the house at first where there's no distraction. Let me show you. And there she is. Yes, good. Good. Very good. Just have them follow you around in the house. Reward every time they do. Yes, very good. Use your body language to encourage them to come with you and use things like little kissing sounds or, yes, good girl. Very good. Excellent. And reward every time they do. You coming? Yay! Good girl. Very good. Just one or two, a few steps at a time to start with. Very good. Excellent. And I'm using cheese mixed with kibble. The kibble is going to smell like the cheese, so it's going to be more interesting. Coming? Yes. Good girl. Good girl. I'm also using the word yes as my marker word for yes, this is what I want you to do. I could use a clicker, or I could say yep, or okay. Good girl. Good girl. I could say good. Come on. Yes. Good girl. Very good. Good girl. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this exercise out into the garden. There might be a little bit more distractions. There might be bumblebees or other dogs in the neighbor garden or something smelly, interesting. So we're slowly adding distractions. Not too much. I'm going to work on this in the house and the garden for a little while before we take it out to the front of the house. So that's how you start building up loose lead walking. So we've taken our loose lead walking training out into the garden, and now I might have to work harder to get her to engage with me. Maybe not, but because there's more distractions, there's smells, sounds, bumblebees, the wind. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start like I did in the house with a few steps at a time, and take it from there. You ready? Okay, let's go. Very good. Very good. Come on. Yeah. Good girl. Right? Good girl. Very good. So I reward her every time she follows me. Yes. Once your dog has a really decent, consistent behavior, you can change to a variable ratio of rewards. But while we're still teaching the behavior, reward every time they do the right thing. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Wow, you're so good. You're so good. She's actually doing this better than she was in the house. Yeah, very good. Very good. Even though there's a huge distraction behind us, the paddling pool that she likes so much. You're a good girl, aren't you? Where are we going? This way. This way. Yes. You can add little cues as this way or let's go. Let's go. Yes. Good girl. When you do add a cue, say for example, let's go. When I say the word let's go, or the words let's go, I will feed her as soon as she follows me on hearing those words. Let's go. Yes, good girl. Now, obviously, Sadie knows the words let's go already, but if you have a dog that doesn't, I would do this. not drop the treats. Let's go and feed. Let's go and feed. Let's go and feed. Let's go and feed. Let's go. Because then every time they hear those words, they think something good is coming. Let's go. Yes, good girl. Oop, dropped it. Let's go. Yeah, good girl. So that's how you build on the loose lead walking training outside in the garden. I'm going to practice this, Sadie, here, a lot. And then I'm going to take it out in the front of the house, start walking back and forth on the pavement outside. So that's the next level. So following on my two previous videos on loose lead walking training, we're still in the garden, but we've now added a collar and a leash. Sadie, come. Yes, good girl. There we go. I'm using a flat collar, the leash attached. You could also use a harness. You can either use one with the back clip option or a back and front clip option. Never just use the front clip because it might injure their shoulders. Also, the only reason I'm using a flat collar instead of a harness right now is that I know she won't pull. If your dog pulls a lot, I suggest using, yes, exactly, a harness because that causes, or there's less risk of causing injury to the neck and throat. Yes, you ready? Right, so now we've added this equipment, walking equipment. And if your dog is hesitant and doesn't want to move with you with the equipment on, you can always start with walking backwards. Sadie, let's go. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Never pull on the dog, just let them follow you. Good girl. And then slowly start turning sideways instead of backwards. Come on. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. And then you can start walking forwards. Good girl. I know, you're such a clever girl. Such a clever girl. If your dog does pull, you just stop. And you turn around and you say, let's go. And go the other direction. Yes, good girl. Or if you've taught them this way, you can do the same thing. Stop, wait for them to look back at you and say, this way. Go the other direction. Good girl. Very good. Very good. Here you go. So once you've practiced this a lot in your house, in your garden, without equipment first and then with equipment, take it out to the front of the house. That'll be the next video. So we've been practicing our loose lead walking training in the garden for a while now. So now we've taken it out to the front of the house. There'll be different smells, different sounds, cars driving by, maybe people and other dogs walking by. But I'm going to proceed with doing what I did in the garden with just 1 or 2 steps and rewarding her. I'm going to add the cues, let's go, and this way, because we started doing that in the garden as well. So let's see how that goes. You ready? Let's go. Good. This way. Yes. Let's go. Very good. Let's go. Yes. Let's go. Ooh, very good. I'm slowly increasing the steps a bit more before I reward because she's doing really well. Good girl. Yeah. This way. Good girl. All right, let's go. Good girl. Very good. So I would continue to practice this in the front garden until I feel comfortable my dog understands my cues and what it is I want them to do. But I think we're ready to try this on the pavement. Do you want to try that? Yeah, let's go. So we've moved out to the pavement now in front of the house, just right in front of the house. And we're going to walk back and forth over the same part of the pavement for a little while we practice our loose lead walking. And again, like before, start with 1 or 2 steps and build up. Nope, leave it. There's a wasp. And build up slowly to increasing the number of steps that you do before you reward. And again, use let's go in this way. Ready? Good. Ooh. Let's go. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Let's go. Yes. This way. Good girl. Girl. Come on. Good girl. Let's go. I'm going to increase the number of steps. Yes, good girl. This way. Good girl. Good girl. This way. Good. Oh. Good girl. Good girl. Right, so the more distractions you have around, the higher the value of your treat should be, or the toys if you're using toys to reward your dog. They're going to be more distracted as soon as you move outside of your own sort of area, boundary, territory, if you could say that. More distractions, higher value of rewards. So start with few steps. If you go to a new environment, so the next we're going to do is just expand where we're walking on the pavement, maybe go over to the park, do a little bit of loose lead walking training, and then let your dog sniff as well so they get a good walk out of it as well. Okay, that's it for us, isn't it? Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. Right, so let's troubleshoot your loose lead walking. Maybe you followed either my advice or other trainers' advice on how to teach your dog loose lead walking. Maybe your dog is just pulling, too distracted, things like that. So what do? Well, first of all, if your dog pulls, don't let them. Just stop. Stop. Wherever you are, stop and don't let them pull. Turn around and go the other direction. Just slow down, stop, say this way, and let's go the other direction. Go back to basics. Adolescent dogs especially tend to forget what they've learned, so you might want to go back to basics on some of the things. Start by following the videos that I've posted previously. What else can you do? Look at the equipment that you're using. If you're using something that might be painful for the dog, that could make them pull more because they want to get away from it. So consider using a harness or a flat collar with leashes on. That's it, nothing else. Up the value of the rewards that you're giving. Use better treats, use more fun toys, whatever it is that you're using to reward your dog with. The more distractions that the dog has to deal with, the higher value your rewards need to be, because that's the only way you can sort of get them to focus back on you again. Work on focus and engagement games, and you can start doing that at home, in the garden, in the house, and then bring it outside where there's more distractions. Just get your dog used to being able to refocus on you. You can use things like 3, 2, 1, let's go game, or the 1, 2, 3 walking pattern game. There's lots of stuff you can do to work on your engagement with your dog. So that's just a short video with tips for troubleshooting loose lead walking. If you want to know more, get in touch.